Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at stacks. This is a request from one of my community members here, Ali. Greatly appreciate you asking, and of course your patience there. And what I usually like to do is kind of cover coins based on people making requests. So feel free to comment below if you have any, or reach out to me through Twitter. It's probably the best way to communicate with us. Again, at Cash Trading, we actually have a new channel here, so trying to help grow that. We're also providing you with a free month of Crypto Cash Premium Plus if you want to go ahead and like, follow, retweet, the whole 9 yards there as well. But generally speaking, at this point, it's a really cool medium to be able to kind of get you some good information, some details, and of course, just help interact with you. So let me know if you have any questions or requests you'd like to go ahead and have me cover. So when it comes to stacks, here's what we want to go ahead and talk about is a few other things here. Well, let's go ahead and draw some Fibonacci retracement levels more important, kind of see what's going on here. And keep in mind, if you're not familiar with this blue line here, I've sent out an analysis previously, of course, it was a couple weeks ago, if I recall correctly. And this is a resistance level here that's been pretty much consistently retested. So right around 67 cents, we can expect that to be a point of contention. And the great thing about this is the fact that the price drove right straight through that and is kind of coming back down towards that. Now, if you're not familiar with Fibonacci retracement, extremely common for the price action to gravitate towards the halfway point. So 0.5 here on Fibonacci is roughly 67 cents. Coincidentally, that was a previous resistance. It would make sense for that to be a support level if the price comes down to retest that level. We also have, and we want to take a look at this here too, I'll go in detail a little bit more further, is Elliott wave. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it basically prints a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. 3 higher highs, 2 higher lows, effectively, to get to its highest point. Then it'll retrace to an ABC. In other words, it'll continue to make lower lows and lower highs until we hit the C. So we're not there yet, of course. We still need to establish our 5 here to complete this pattern. But generally speaking, we should experience an uptrend here soon to likely fulfill that void. Okay? Now, again, we can talk about that a little bit later, but generally speaking, that's the consistency here. So if this is the bottom, which could very well be, we're consolidating nicely at 0.382, then we will see the price continue higher. If the price pulls back, it would be likely because Bitcoin's pulling back to 30,000, which would make sense. We could see the price come down here to 0.5 and likely bounce off 67 cents. So 67 or 72.5 are two very likely pivot points here for STX. Okay, so something to kind of think about. Let's look at the big picture and work our way down, kind of see what's going on. In future reference too, this is kind of what happens. You see a 1, 3, 5 higher highs, 2 higher lows, and then it's followed by an ABC pattern. That's really just how Elliott wave works in most cases. Pretty cool. So what we're looking at on the daily here, a few things. First of all, we're over 50, below 70, so we're quote-unquote bullish on this coin. When I say quote-unquote, it just basically means that since the first time in quite a few months, I mean, looking at April as the most recent time when the price is actually above that level, we haven't seen the price above 50 on the RSI. Came up to 70 rather, and has since rejected. So once again, 88 cents is a likely strong resistance level. And we pretty much have a strong amount of volume at that level too, so that's the main reason why you saw that. But every run comes to an end. You also got to keep in mind too, Bitcoin was testing 31,500, a recent all-time high for this year, and that is the reason why we saw STX kind of running with it. Okay? So keep in mind, what happens with Bitcoin could and very well should happen with STX. Okay, please understand that. Okay, so daily looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and summarize here one last thing. We're above all moving averages. All consolidating right there at 0.618 at 62 cents. So heaven forbid we lose 67 for some reason. We're looking at 67 right there. Or sorry, 62, round number 63 cents. In fact, I have an alert set up there just in case that happens, as you can kind of see here. All right, so those are some strong support levels if the price were to pull back. So on the 4 hour, what we're looking at here is we can see the MACD is still diverging, but it's losing momentum. And so this downtrend is starting to slow down. We're also seeing that 50 is kind of trying to hold as a support, but tentatively a resistance for the moment. So it could imply we see further downside. If we look at the moving averages, we're below the 20. That's kind of an initial trend setter, right? But overall, the sense here, and you can kind of see it pretty clear, we have this ascending trend running concurrent with the 50-day SMA, where the price action is continuing higher with it. So if we close tomorrow, or maybe even today, depending on the time frame, actually probably more so tomorrow. Say we close tomorrow at the same price point that we're at right now, we can expect the price to get come back down further or to be rejected by that level. Okay, so just keep in mind that we're treading water right now, for lack of better terms, on this ascending trend. We'll see if it can retest and continue higher. Okay, there's a good chance if this can continue to make to higher lows that we'll be able to see it go upwards. If we lose that, it would be best to presume the price goes down. Okay, all right. So that's kind of where we're at in the 4 hour. So I wouldn't say it's bearish by any stretch, but we're kind of neutral on the 4 hour. So that's okay, right? So daily looks fairly nice, I guess slightly bullish, fairly neutral on the 4-hour. Let's see what the 1-hour kind of tells us here. So we can see we're below the cloud. This is ultimately a bearish sign. Being below the cloud is never a good sign as far as taking a long position. You want to wait for confirmation above the cloud. So hypothetically, the price does one of these. Then at that point, a closure at 78 cents or higher, probably a pretty good presumption the price will continue upwards. We'd be honoring the ascending trend as well. If the price goes, just say, sideways and continues to remain below the cloud, we could see it start to taper off. Okay, so again, important to recognize that we have some firm indications here that a long position, albeit potentially viable, is not ideal. Okay, so again, to me, taking a trade at this point just because we keep retesting a support level isn't a reason to take a trade. For me, if we take a look at Bitcoin, we kind of understand that Bitcoin has a pretty significant head and shoulders pattern. Elliott wave is also telling us that we should see further downside, at least to retest at 29,850 mark. Those are things that are kind of keeping me from wanting to go long on coins like this. Okay. Again, just be cautious and careful. The fact that we're retesting this level coming from the upside implies that we will probably see further downside. Okay. It's a descending wedge type of pattern, and it's more likely to break down than up. Once again, we hold this ascending trend. All that will be nullified, and Bitcoin maintains 30,500 or higher. None of this even should matter. We'll probably see a price point continue to increase. As I mentioned on the daily, we are looking at some pretty, or it was a 4-hour here rather, we're looking at some pretty obvious price action to continue higher. We should establish a higher high in the foreseeable future. Just a matter of how low it goes first. That's really what we're looking for, right? So are we going to print a little bit lower of a low here at 67 cents, or we're going to bounce off 72.5? That's really what we're looking for. So to me, I'm going to be looking for a candlestick closure today above 78. And technically, we want to have a closure above 78 anytime this week. I would say probably more likely to happen tomorrow or later because, again, if Bitcoin can pivot and bounce from here, different story. But if Bitcoin drops like I'm expecting or anticipating, then we're absolutely going to see something lower. We're going to lose this trend line. We'll be below the cloud. We'll have mostly bearish signs. So by no means am I saying to short right now, but it seems more viable that we're going to see the price action go down than up in the immediate foreseeable future. Again, just my thoughts, some thoughts from one guy to another. So I hope that you have learned something here today. If you did, obviously comment below. Love to hear your feedback. Reach out to us here through Twitter as well. Really appreciate the follow there, and obviously enabling alerts so you can stay abreast on some of these awesome fundamental and technical data. Also, furthermore, great job to my community members here for just being fantastic traders. This is all part of the Crypto Cash Premium package, you could say. We have day trades and swing trades. A lot of cool stuff here, essentially, that's coming through. We got a nice little XRP there, and I won't share the premium signals there because we just took a couple of shorts, but really, really good stuff there in that sense. So hopefully things are going to continue the way that they should for you, and I hope that you fare well. So thanks again for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll go ahead and see you all in tomorrow's video. Have a good one. Thanks again.